everybody. Welcome to Variety Conversation. I am Lady Walker. So, here's a tragic story of a 37-year-old pastor prophet, Sylvester Ofori, who shot and killed his 27-year-old wife, Barbara Tommey. Video surveillance shows not only did Ofori shoot his wife, but then stands over her body and put additional rounds into her head outside the front door of her job at the Navy Federal Credit Union in Orlando, Florida. He was later taken into custody at his apartment and is being held without bond on a first-degree murder charge. The couple is said to have been in the process of getting a divorce, and Barbara hasn't lived at the apartment they shared in months. The couple was married in September of 2015. Pastor prophet Sylvester Ofori, before he fatally shot his wife, was a pastor of Floodgates of Heaven's International Ministries in Paramore, a neighborhood in West Central Orlando, Florida. On Ofori's Facebook page, a day before shooting and killing his wife, he posted this saying, "One thing people gotta understand about extremely kind, nice, loving people is that their other side is just as extreme." Oh my. I tell you what, he sure enough showed his extreme side by shooting and killing his wife, didn't he? And when I read some of his posts, it seems to me that he was up to something no good. And in the end, his no good action manifested into killing of his wife. Another post on his Facebook page says, "I've learned that two people can look at the exact same thing and see something totally different." From that post, I gather that Barbara saw that she wanted out of that deranged marriage, but he saw that he could make her stay in that unhealthy marriage, but when he couldn't, he killed her. By the way, he also calls himself a motivational speaker. His Facebook page has more than 60,000 followers, and the church's page has about 5,600. Investigators have not released a motive behind the shooting and whether there was a history of domestic violence or which Orlando Police Department was aware of. Now, another source says Ofori has reportedly been abusing his wife for a long time, and due to the abuse, Barbara was persuaded by the family to leave him. Plus, there is a video that shows him threatening to kill her in the presence of her brother. Yep, I saw that one too. On Floodgates of Heaven's International Ministries website, Prophet Ofori is said to be a powerful, internationally known prophet of the Most High God. He ministers to thousands all over the world. He was born in Accra, and yada, 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 yada. Also that he is an anointed and chosen man of God who flows in the gifts of the Holy Spirit. Through the awesome power of the Lord working through him, the sick are healed, the demon possessed are delivered. Okay, you get that? The demon possessed, like him, are delivered. Witchcraft schemes are exposed and nullified. The lame walk, the blind see, and the brokenhearted are made whole. These are some of the many miracles that are repeatedly manifested throughout his ministry. Yada, 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 and so on. Well, for somebody to be so anointed and led by God from this standpoint, he gave the devil a foothold into his life, so much so that he felt the need to kill his wife because she wanted out of that abusive marriage. There are these feeble-minded, pathetic, jealous, and no good for nothing men like Ofori who can't handle their wife or girlfriend breaking up with them. They rather take that person's life than to have that person going on about life, living without them. What woman in her right mind would want to continually stay in an abusive relationship where she is always miserable, depressed, and vacant of joy and peace? This is why a lot of women vacate a tore up marriage or relationship. Men who are obsessive, controlling, and possessive do not need to enter into a relationship with another person until they are healed from those unhealthy behaviors. If a breakup leaves you distraught and on the verge of wanting to take the person's life who decides to sever the marriage or relationship with you, why not? And I repeat, why not start the killing with yourself first? This may sound pretty ruthless, but why? Why didn't he put the gun to his head first and absolve him of his misery? I tell you why. He was too much of a freaking coward to kill himself, but had the gumption to kill his wife, who probably had every right and reason to leave him as she did. Also on July the 4th, on another one of his Facebook posts was, while you're sanitizing and wiping everything down, be sure to wipe hatred out of your heart. Now, the question is, why didn't he do that personally for himself? Why didn't he wipe that resentment, anger, and whatever else evil he had marinating in his heart against his wife for leaving him out of his heart instead of killing her? He didn't practice what he posted. Okay? And another post posted on July the 1st reads, feed a snake, love a snake, respect a snake, pray for a snake, doesn't matter. He's still gonna bite you. Okay, now, he sounded like he really meant something there. I guess you can say he was referencing himself because he was that snake. Okay? And one more post, y'all, I'm going to share on this Facebook page that read on June the 17th is, drive carefully on the road called life, because people will switch lanes on you without a signal. Makes you wonder if he was talking about his wife having left him, not even factoring in his waywardness that had to do with her leaving him. And see, that's the thing. You got some of these men as well as women who will focus on she left me or he left me, and they don't factor in this is the reason why she left you, because of your abusiveness, your ways, your evil ways. They don't factor that in. What make these people think that someone should continually stay in such an environment, unhealthy environment? But you know what? You got devils like these that don't focus on what they had done to contribute to that person leaving. They don't focus on that, but they should. Anywho, sometimes loving someone means letting them go when that person is ready to leave the marriage or relationship. Just because someone is your wife or husband, that doesn't mean you own them. They are not your possession. And if the marriage or relationship isn't going up to par after trying for some time to make it work, it's that person's prerogative to vacate the premises of that marriage. You can't make a person want to be with you. So let go of holding them hostage in that relationship. It's not going to get any better. It doesn't matter how many years you have been together. Sometimes people be together for years and that relationship has been dead for ages. A dead relationship is a dead relationship that can no longer be resurrected. Y'all, it takes two people to build a healthy relationship. One person cannot make that relationship healthy. It is going to take both people. One person putting in all the work is not going to cut it. It is going to take two people to build a healthy marriage. And abuse of any kind is not conducive to a healthy relationship. A person who is on the receiving end of the abuse has every right to terminate that marriage or relationship. And that person should not be killed because they wanted out of such an unhealthy relationship. Anyway, I am going to share some commenters' perspective on this here situation. Empress Tina 876 says, sometimes you just don't know what someone is capable of doing until they do it. Kelvin Tillman says, what happened? He couldn't get a word from Jesus. Where was Jesus in all of this? Cherry Pop says, maybe he wasn't the same man behind the pulpit when they were behind closed doors. He could have been verbally, physically, and emotionally abusive. Rests in peace to this woman. It seems she was trying to get out of an evil web and couldn't escape it. Rebecca Fields says, Pastor, you never were in touch with Jesus. You were always close to Satan. Melanie Watson says, 9 times out of 10, he was most likely the one who disrespected the relationship, marriage, in the first place, and had the audacity to take her life because she wanted better for herself. He didn't just kill her, it was overkill. That's just so sad. Kendra Turner says, another sad example of a pastor not living accordingly. Practice what you preach. Shaking my head. Lynn Martin says, Satan comes in many forms. Fifi responded, and this is the most powerful way he comes, in the form of a disguised, God-fearing person that people will follow. CB says, I bet he was working himself up by looking at her pictures on social media. He didn't want to let go. And you know what? From that, I would say when you have exited a relationship, sometimes it is best to disable your social media page and put nothing new or anything out there because you don't want this person knowing anything about what you are doing. Okay? Love is the key. Beautiful says, probably was a false prophet with a very prideful heart. His wife looked so sweet and harmless. These hirelings are out of control and heartless. A huge social media following means nada because people will follow a donkey or dog if they tell them what they want to hear. Whitfield Scott says the Holy Spirit told him not to do it, and his insatiable desire to exact revenge personally was more gratifying. True narcissist. And last but not least, A. Washington says, just because the relationship is over doesn't mean your life is over. I had to learn that the hard way. And that is true as well, because sometimes when a breakup happens, no matter how long you guys have been together, yes, it's going to hurt. When you have vested in a lot of yourself emotionally, physically, mentally, and all of that, yes, it hurts when that breakup occurs. But you got to know in due time, you will get over that. You can't be ruminating over in your mind, oh, he left me. Oh, she left me. Oh, I'm so hurt. I'm going to kill her. I am going to kill him. That is not going to cut it. You will get over it in due time. But trying to harm or hurt somebody is not the way to get over that hurt. Okie doke. All righty then, beloveds, there you have it. Feel free to share your perspective on this situation. And in the meantime, y'all come back to visit me when you can. Okie doke. Ta-ta.